Within this growing contamination of the mainstream media, where words and images dictate truths and stories, there lies a channel of information that is grounded, voices different perspectives, and generates a bottom up approach. Multiple organizations across the country work in tandem and are creating networks of engagement, covering stories, allowing citizen participation, spreading media literacy by means of workshops and digital material building, essentially creating alternate media networks. The project's aim is to employ architecture in taking media to the farthest places and being a catalyst for information generation. An engagement possible if one taps into the already existing network based institutions for communication. One such all pervasive institution is the post office. Its physical network is a structured prototype that offers the same services across administrative levels of varying scales, be it at regional, divisional, taluka, or gram panchayat level. For this project, it is a collaboration where alternate media organizations redeem their lack of physical spaces by operating through the network of existing institution that has been losing its relevance, creating a hybrid network for these organizations to thrive on ground level and take a people-centric approach. Here, alternate media organizations can function through rented postal spaces for particular time periods. Primary program houses workspaces where organizations and individuals generate work, and the archive that has spaces for engagement and exhibit in multimedia formats. When not in use, secondary programs can be generated as per the need of the context to be multipurpose in nature. And finally, adding programs like public plaza, canteen, and public toilets that ensure inclusivity for all. This network is for organizations, citizen journalists, students, scientists, researchers, etc. The larger intervention strategy was to look at a hybrid design, comprising the static and the mobile components. The static becomes all the revamped post offices to which plugins can be made by mobile systems to ensure greater coverage and accessibility in the network. Under the mobile component, modules were designed that can be transported as a kit and then assembled on site. The project takes a complete package of programs, technologies, ways of harnessing energies to places. The module is a medium that works both ways, as a receptor of information from that area and as a portal for accessing information from across the globe. When multiplied, several more functions can be created by iterating panels as per need. Solar panels are provided to ensure self-sufficiency. Both satellite and tower connection is provided to ensure that they are always connected to the grid, no matter how remote they go. Pre-assembled modules can be fixed onto vehicles that are always on field, covering remote areas as media trucks. Whereas the universal design allows the modules to club together and situate themselves in varying contexts while responding to climatic conditions. For the test project, I chose Thane region as it has a variety of settlements and demographic conditions from metropolitan to tribal. Also, a prototype of head post office to branch post office is present that can be replicated across the state if the pilot is successful. Each scale is situated at a different administrative level. Head post operates from postal buildings. Over 70% sub-post offices operate from rental spaces despite the availability of postal land, while branch post offices operate from the postmaster's residence. Under the static component, 3 sites were selected, one at each level. They are to act as motherships from which the mobile components spread out. I chose a metropolitan setting in Thane, a temple town in Vajreshwari, and a village called Dabhar. Through this study, I developed larger approaches that can be applied across these 3 scales. For instance, at Thane, one can work and enhance the existing. At sub-level, a postal land can be taken up where an independent structure is made with provision for alternate programs. While at branch level, a collaborative infrastructure can be created between state bodies. Each project is a demonstration of what could happen at that particular scale. In Thane, the site is an existing post office. I began by opening out the edges and making extensions with this idea of a parallel institution in mind. As it is a dense site, I tucked in the larger media functions underground to create a public space and allow for thoroughfare. The extension will lead to the removal of highlighted infill walls with bare minimal openings, hence getting in a lot more daylight and ventilation into the structure. Organization level programs occupy the extension as well as the underground spaces. Bound by public spaces for community level, the media modules now come in to create a pavilion where individual cubes can be inhabited. This parallel institution is imagined to work along with the general programs of the post office without interfering in them. Binding programs like Canteen are kept free flowing to encourage interaction and smoothen the transition from old to new. The lower floor, an open grid, is designed in a way that individual spaces can be created as per need in the grid and opened out when there are larger events. The extension is designed to be a light, airy space that adds vibrancy to the existing structure. The community media functions are underground and the public plaza is on its terrace. The media pavilion can house cubes as per demand. Sectionally, the idea was to not add to the load of the existing, so light steel members are used in a way that they cantilever out to the old. Section through the underground space facing the extension. Multiple courtyards are provided for natural light and ventilation. This revamped post office aspires to act as a neighborhood activator by providing accessible public functions and seating spaces at the junction. The canteen and public toilets are also strategically placed to cater to pedestrians looking for spaces of pause in the city. At the second scale, postal land next to the Gram Panchayat is selected. The idea was to create a public project with the post office being one part of the larger building which could house the media functions. Worked ahead with the long bar to which modules attached on either sides. One enters the project through the post office that opens out to a canteen with media modules parked at either sides, becoming a digital archive space when put in conjunction. First floor has the workspaces and a continuation of the archive. People can occupy all parts of the project, work in cubes, learn how to write as citizen journalists, or simply rest on the plinths. The roof is upturned to allow greater quality of light in the workspaces. The plinth and the edges are designed with pedestrians in mind. Several opportunities for gathering and pause can be found. At the third scale, the office is taken out of people's homes and shifted in the Gram Panchayat premises. There are several existing buildings on site. I began by identifying the dilapidated and the functioning structures, retaining the latter. To enhance the public spaces, I created plinths that run across the project, binding all the trees together. Then situated the newer structures in response to the existing and creating two clusters. The post office is designed to respond to the intrinsic role it plays in villages as an integral public space. The idea was to create collaborative and multi-purpose spaces. For instance, the Women's Center was redesigned to be very public and open. Stairs can be taken to the upper floor for the post office. Meeting space can hold all the town meetings or larger programs. The archive can be converted into digital classrooms. The canteen can function along with the midday meal kitchen, whereas digital media space can be used as computer lab during school hours. The school children can spill out onto the courtyards, where spaces around the trees become integral to play areas, a space for all. Through this network design, the project hopes to create more informed and evolved media spaces and make the production of information more transparent and participatory in order to decentralize voices and power. Ultimately, have more control and say in our collective media environment and truly make it the people's media.